Just waiting for the video to go. I think we're good now. Hi, I'm Fiona. I'm one of the nutritionists, and I'm the founder and owner of Informed Health. And I wanted to talk to you about the truth about self-care. We hear a lot about self-care, hashtag self-care. It's all over Instagram, and I wanted to talk to you about what it really means and where we're pretty much being lied to. It's really important to understand that self-care can be a lot of things, but the way that it is promoted to us by some influencers and different people on places like Instagram is self-care is being sold to us as, doing yoga in a bikini, I don't know, on a beautiful beach, or, self-care is being really sold to us as almost a thing to be a way of being perfect. It's a way of proving that you're perfect or being perfect. And self-care is lots of things. So let's just discuss what self-care actually is. Now, if you want to do yoga on a beach in a beautiful bikini, that is a form of self-care, and that's fine. Go for your life. However, we don't have to be doing that to be practicing self-care. So self-care might mean just putting some music on for 5 minutes and just calming down and focusing on your breathing, because that's the best thing that you can do in that day. Self-care might mean going to the gym. Self-care might actually mean sorting out your banking or sorting out your financials, because if you don't sort those things out, they'll cause you a lot of stress, so they need to be sorted out. Self-care might be cleaning your house or sorting your space so that you don't feel so overwhelmed. Self-care is also going for a walk or going to the gym. Self-care is eating healthy food. Sometimes self-care is actually eating the chocolate, because sometimes you do need to nourish your soul, and that's okay. But so you can see that self-care is a lot of things, and what you need at that time might be different to other people. And I see this a lot, that people feel like if they can't do the thing, then they're just not going to practice any self-care. And it doesn't work that way. The truth is life, and our lives are busy. We've got lots going on, and some days or some times in our lives it might be easier to practice self-care than others. As in, sometimes in your life you'll be able to get to the gym and do all those things. I'll give you an example. When and this is the sort of stuff we deal with in our Stress Less program. I'll put the link above. But when I first ran the Stress Less program, when I first ran it last year, I was actually spending every day, all day with my mother in palliative care. So it was probably one of the most stressful times in my life when I was running the Stress Less program. And I still wanted to practice self-care, and I still wanted to figure out the best way I could do that. And that if I had have said that self-care meant that I had to be eating, so many cups of veggies, and I had to be, not eating chocolate, and I had to be going to the gym and doing meditation and doing, a whole bunch of other things, I would have failed, because that was not possible. In life, things aren't always possible. So what I did is I just did focus on what I could do. And what I could do, it just turns out that at Gosford in palliative care, it actually opens out onto a balcony. And most nights I went out and watched the sunset, and just sort of breathed and just sat and just, observed how beautiful the sunset was, right? Every day I went for a walk. This is at Gosford Hospital. There's a big giant hill, and I walked up the big giant hill every day, just to sort of clear out my emotions and clear my head and get some fresh air. Some days I ate truckloads of chocolate, other days I ate a little bit less. I did try and make sure I had protein at least once in that day, because I knew how important protein was for managing my health, managing my mental health, balancing my blood sugar levels. I tried to drink plenty of, I'm a big tea drinker, but I made sure I drank water. Sometimes self-care just meant walking into another room, taking a few breaths, going out into the hallway and taking a few breaths. Sometimes it meant going and making myself a cup of tea. Sometimes it meant staying in the tea room for a few minutes and having that cup of tea before I went back to be with mum, and sometimes it meant going and being with mum. All right, so self-care means lots of things. And we get caught up that self-care is something, it's going to take 45 minutes of this and half an hour of that, or that it has to be some level of perfection because that's what we see on Instagram, or it has to mean about getting a bikini body or being in a bikini. And self-care is quite varied in quite a lot of things. And what it looks like for us when we're really overwhelmed, when we're looking after sick parents, when we're looking after sick children, or when we're not well, can be quite different to what it will look like in other times in our life. So the best thing we can do with self-care is, one, identify all the different kinds of self-care, because there's lots of kinds of self-care. And the second thing is to try and practice something every day. It might just be a moment to just make sure you're breathing. That might be the only self-care you can practice today. But you might also better just drink a bit more water, and that will be helpful. Or you might put on your favourite song and just dance for 5 minutes. Or on your way to somewhere, or on your way away from somewhere stressful in the car, you might put on some music that you can sing along to, scream along to, laugh along to, like whatever it is for you. Or you might listen to your favourite podcast, or listen to your favourite book, or whatever it might be. You might text a friend or talk to a friend. But just remember that we've been sold this kind of lie about what self-care is. Self-care is ultimately looking after ourselves, and it is ultimately doing things that are nourishing and rewarding to us. But what that looks like on each day can be quite different. And if we put rules around what it is, or say that it has to be this or it has to be that, then we can somehow feel like we can't achieve it, so not even try, or somehow feel like we're failing before we start. Really, what it's about is assessing day to day in your life. What can I do today? Like, what do I need? What's going on? What can I do? It might be asking someone to do something for you. It might be asking someone to pick up something for you that you can't pick up, or it might be just saying no to certain things, or cancelling certain plans, or making plans. It might be lots of things, but just be aware that self-care is quite broad and it's quite personal, and it's really important that we practice it, but it's really important that we practice it within the bounds of what's happening in our life. And sometimes life is really overwhelming, there's so much going on, and there's very minimal room. Even in those situations, though, you can still breathe. You might be able to go for a walk, even if it's 5 minutes, but there's things you can do, or you might be able to stop and just look at something beautiful. So that's just a little bit about what self-care is and what self-care means. And these are the kinds of things that we go into a lot of detail in our Stress Less program. We talk about all the different facets of self-care, and what they look like, and all the different facets of things that support us to deal with stress, things that support our body when we're stressed, things that support our mind when we're stressed. So I really love you to join our Stress Less program and learn more about self-care, and just learn more about management of stress. Stress is huge. So many of us have stress at the moment. So many of us are overwhelmed at the moment, and very understandably. And it's not about making it all go away. We can't make it go away. Life is life. But it is about learning strategies to manage that stress. It's not so much what happens, but it's how we respond to it. And there are really powerful ways that you can learn how to respond to stress to make life, to make it just that little bit easier, because you're not so overwhelmed all of the time. But one of those is just to learn how to practice self-care and learn what that looks like. And it looks like something different every day for a lot of people. Sometimes it can be the same for a while as well, but it's reassessing and assessing on the day, what does self-care look like for me today? And it might mean today I'm going to go for a walk, or well, maybe I'm not going to go for a walk because it's pouring with rain, but maybe I can do some stretches on the floor, or maybe I can walk up and down the stairs, or around and around the house for 5 minutes. It might be about water, it might be about protein, it might be about lots of things. But redefine what self-care is, and then you can confidently practice it every day and know that you are doing something for yourself, you are doing something to nourish yourself. And we'd really love you to join our Stress Less program. It starts on the 21st of March, which is this month now. And links above, and I'll pop the link below as well. It's only $97 for 6 weeks of lots and lots of information and support from me and Rebecca, our other nutritionist. And when you do buy the program, you will get, and it's all live, it's not pre-recorded stuff, it's all live. We go in there, we're talking to you like this, and you'll get a discount voucher for somebody else to get half price. So essentially you and a friend can do it for $97 for the first one and 40, whatever half of 97 is, I don't know what 40 something, for the second person. So anyway, I'd love you to join us in our Stress Less program, and hope you learned something about self-care today. Thanks, and I'll talk to you later. Okay, bye.